Pyrogen testing means to check the presence of pyrogen in your prepared parental product. So the presence of that pyrogen is nothing but the dangerous one for the human beings. So that's why the pyrogens can cause the hazardous effects like increasing the temperature as well as the several other type of problems also they can cause. So that's why we have to check the presence of that pyrogen. So basically pyrogen means what? Pyro means fire or the we can say temperature. And gen means beginning or the starting. So increasing in the temperature or the to start the temperature, it is nothing but the we can say as per the Greek language starting of the fire. So the pyrogen word is related to the increase in the temperature, as well as when the pyrogens are administered into the body, they will cause the increase in the normal body temperature more than 37 degrees centigrade. So this is the activity of these pyrogens. Now, what is the exactly pyrogen and how they are coming into the human body and where they are present? Generally, pyrogens are basically endotoxins. Chemically, they are endotoxins, and they are excreted by the bacterial cells or through the bacterial cells. Generally, gram-negative bacteria can produce the potent or the highly concentrated endotoxins, and they are having the hazardous effect compared to the other bacterial endotoxins. Generally, these endotoxins are stable at the higher temperatures, and basically they are lipopolysaccharides chemically. So they present in the bacterial cell wall and they are stable at the higher temperature, and they can uh, remain as it is at least at 175 degrees centigrade. So here we have to think that while sterilization, so the 175 degrees centigrade, that temperature cannot kill your pyrogens. So this steam sterilization or the method of sterilization by autoclave is not effective for the killing or the removal of your pyrogen. So alternative method we have to choose for removal of the pyrogen. Generally, the source of pyrogen is from the your routine water, tap water, or drinking water, as well as through the your raw material also from the your environmental. So they can insert in your product. Now, generally, the biological properties of endotoxin are nothing but they are having the ability to increase the body temperature, and they can elevate the levels of inflammatory cytokines in human bodies. So it may lead to the fever, then blood coagulation, as well as the hypotension. So these are the consequences occurs as the pyrogen or enters into your body. They will start their activities by increasing the fever, then they will cause the blood coagulation and then hypotension. At the low doses of the pyrogen, generally asymptomatic inflammation may be occur, and there is not that much we can say uh, harmful one. But when the dose has been increases or the concentration of pyrogen is increases in the body, then what happens? Fever will be there and changes in the plasma composition will be there. Suppose the again pyrogen production is increased in your body, then along with your fever, along with the inflammation, then cardiovascular problems may be occur, dysfunction of heart may be takes place, vasodilation can be occurred, vasoconstriction also can be occurred, and endothelium dysfunction can be possible, as well as multiple organ failure may be possible, and finally death of that person may be possible. So these are the various consequences may occur as the concentration of pyrogen increases in our body. So that's why when we are using the such kind of parental preparations, so the care we have to take regarding the absence of that pyrogen. That pyrogen should not present in your product. If it is present, then that kind of product should not be administered to the patient. Generally, how can we eliminate your pyrogens? So the pyrogens can be eliminated from your product by using the dried sterilization. Generally, we can use the some instrument for the killing of your pyrogens from your product. at the 650 degree centigrade, we can heat your preparation for 1 minute. If it is not possible, then at 250 degree centigrade we can heat your preparation for 30 minutes. If again suppose it is not possible, then at 180 degree centigrade we can heat your preparation for 240 minutes. Then only we can kill your pyrogens. Otherwise we can go for the ultra filtration by using the uh, very minute or the small filters. Ultra pores are there, so through that also we can minimize the air, or we can separate out the pyrogens. As well as various membranes are available today. By using that RO membranes or the reverse osmosis membrane, we can eliminate or we can separate out the pyrogens through the filtration process. As well as your distillation process is also used, adsorption method also used, but distillation can be used only for the purification or the removal of the pyrogen from the vehicle only. Then next test is the rabbit or the pyrogen test. So by using this pyrogen test, rabbit pyrogen test, we can detect the pyrogens. In previous slides, we have seen about the problems along with the your pyrogen. Now we'll see how to detect the your pyrogen. If the pyrogens are present, then how the industries or the in the your laboratories we can check the presence of that pyrogen. The first test is called as the rabbit pyrogen test. So by using the rabbits, we can check the presence of pyrogen in your product. So in this test, we have to use the healthy rabbits, and we have to insert your product into the rabbit, and then after that we have to observe the increase in the temperature of that rabbit. So if the temperature is increases, then surely we can conclude that the pyrogens are present in your product. So for that test, first of all we have to select the healthy rabbits. Generally, three rabbits of each sex we have to select. Suppose three female and three male rabbits we have to select, and the weight of that each rabbit not more than the 1 kg. Then 1.5 kg should be the minimum weight of that rabbit. It means healthy rabbit should be there. Then the rabbits which is already having the higher temperature, suppose due to any other problem that rabbit is having the temperature, then such kind of rabbit should not be used. So initially it is stated that the rabbit should be healthy one, it should be free from any kind of disease or the problem. Then only we can get the accurate result of your test. So such kind of rabbits we have to select for the test. So here the animal which are used for the test purpose, so the we have to check the increase in the temperature of the animals. So in the method, whatever the preparation we have prepared for the checking purpose, that preparation we have to dilute with the water if it is required. And then whatever the diluent solution or the solvent we are using, that should be free from pyrogen. As well as other equipments we are using, that should be also free from pyrogen. So prior to use, that all the apparatus, syringe, needle, as well as the your related material should be a sterilized one. So that material should not, we can say, interfere with your test. Then whatever the product we have prepared, that should be warm, or temperature of that product should be increased up to 38.5 degrees centigrade. So it should match with the body temperature of the rabbit. Then we have to inject the quantity of that solution or the quantity of that product into the rabbit. The quantity should not be less than 0.5 ml per kg weight of that rabbit, as well as it should not be more than 10 ml per kg of the rabbit body weight. So this is the prescribed criteria for the selection of the quantity of that administration of the sample. So that sample should be selected in such a way that it should not be more than 0.5 ml, and should not be it should not be less than 0.5 ml, and should not be more than 10 ml of the body kg of that per body weight of that rabbits. So then prior to administration, we have to check the temperatures of that body rabbits. So two times minimum we have to check the body temperature of that rabbit, and we have to record that temperature. Then after that, we have to insert the your product into the ear vein of that rabbit, so that every rabbit, first of all we have checked their temperature, and after that we have to insert the injection into the ear vein of that rabbit. Then after the every 30 minutes we have to check the temperature of that rabbits. For recording the temperature, we have to insert the thermometer into the rectum of that rabbit, and we have to check the temperature. So up to 3 hours we have to continue recording of that temperature at every 30 minutes interval, and then we have to check the results. Now after every 30 minutes, suppose we have taken the readings, and we have to observe the increases in the temperature. Suppose initially we have take the chosen the 3 rabbits for the sample, for the test purpose, 3 male rabbits and 3 female rabbits. So in that case, we have to check the temperature increases, how much temperature has been increases. So here, first of all we should think that what was the initial temperature, and after the injection how much temperature has been increased. So the difference between the initial temperature and final temperature we have to find out. So that difference should not be 0.6 degrees centigrade. As well as, if there is the rise in temperature is occur, then for all the rabbits, suppose 3 male and 3 female rabbits are we have selected, then that total rabbits temperature how much it is increased. So average of that all the 6 we have to calculate. Then averagely how much temperature has been increased, that we have to find out. Suppose for each rabbit there is the minute increase in occur, temperature is occur. So that total increased temperature we have to calculate, and we have to take the average for the 6. Then again we have to find out that how much averagely temperature has been increased for all the 6 rabbits. So it should not be more than 1.4 degrees centigrade. Suppose that all individually we are taking the temperature of that each rabbit, and we have found that there is minute increase occurs. Suppose 0.6 degree centigrade temperature has been increased, then also we can say that test is passes and no pyrogen has been present. Suppose it is not work, and we have found that some of the rabbit has been got the increase in temperature 0.7 or 0.8 degrees centigrade has been increased. Then we can check it by taking the group's temperature, and we have found that there is no increase in temperature for all the average temperature of that 6 rabbits, that is not more than 1.4 degrees centigrade. Then we can say that the test has been passed and there is no pyrogen has been present. And suppose by taking the this 6 rabbits, we have not satisfied, and we have got the increases in the temperature individually also and in group also. Then again we have to select the extra 5 rabbits for the same test, and again we have to go for the second test. So here again we have to apply the same criteria. For individual rabbit, it should not be more than 0.6 temperature increases. As well as, if you are taking the for 8 rabbits, it means 16 rabbits, male 8 and female 8. So the for average temperature for all the 16 rabbits, it should not be increased in 3.7 degrees centigrade. So averagely, suppose it is increasing 3.7 degrees centigrade, then that test we have to repeatedly conduct again. And suppose we have found that it is not increased more than 3.7 degrees centigrade, then we can say that the test has been passes. It means no pyrogen has been present. So this is the criteria for checking the presence of the pyrogen by using the rabbits. Again, I would like to repeat it. Initially, we have to take the 3 rabbits, 3 for male and 3 for female rabbits, means total 6 rabbits we have to take. Then we have to insert the injection or the product which to be tested one, and we have to analyze the increase in the temperature. Near about 3 hours we have to take this test. So for every 30 minutes we have to check the increase in the temperature. Then after the 3 hours we have noted the temperature. So at the last, what is the your finally increased temperature. So initially we have already recorded the temperature. Then again at finally what was the your temperature. Suppose the difference between these two temperature is there, that is the 0.6 degree centigrade is increases for each rabbit, then your test has been passed. No pyrogen has been present. Suppose individually you are not getting the proper readings, then we can calculate the average increases temperature for all the 6 rabbits, and then we can add the increased temperature for all the rabbits, and we can find out that suppose increase in temperature is not more than 1.4 degrees centigrade, then also your test can be passes. And suppose we have seen that, or we have observed that there is the some problem in we can see in the your temperature, and you have observed that there is the constantly increase in the temperature, then again you can select the extra 5 rabbits. 5 rabbits means 5 male and 5 female rabbits, and again go for the checking it. Now individually again take the temperature for all the 16 rabbits, and you can find out that is there any increase in temperature for more than 0.6 degrees centigrade, or is there any differences occur more than 0.6 degrees centigrade. And suppose you have found that there is the increase in the temperature is occurs for individual rabbits, again you can go for the checking the average temperature of all the 16 rabbits. Then that average increased temperature should not be more than 3.7 degrees centigrade. So suppose it is below 3.7 degrees centigrade, then your test has been passes. But suppose we have got the more temperature individually also as well as in the group also, more than 3.67 degrees centigrade for the group and more than 6 degrees centigrade for the individual rabbits, then your test may be failed. So again we have to repeat the test by taking the another rabbits, and we have to conduct the test, and we have to find the results. Suppose in the same test we have got the failed results, then your product is containing the pyrogens, then we have to go for the sterilization of that product, then only we can go for the final distribution of that product into the market. So this was about the conduction of your pyrogen test by using the rabbits. Now next test is the bacterial endotoxin test. So this test is performed by using the we can say LAL test. What is LAL test? LAL test is nothing but the LAL test. L stands for Lumulus a polyphumous test, or the you can say bacterial endotoxin test. Generally, this test is performed by using the uh, one gel which is extracted from the horseshoe crab. That horseshoe crab is having a one potent type of enzyme, that is called as the ambioside lysate enzyme. So this ambioside lysate enzyme is obtained from the horseshoe crab, and then that enzyme is used to check the your presence of endotoxin. Generally, this enzyme is having the ability to get gel or to convert into the gel as soon as it is coming with the contact of the endotoxin or the pyrogens. It means that enzyme is get or it turn into the we can say viscous liquid because of the presence of the endotoxin. So on this basis we can detect the presence of the endotoxin or the pyrogen. So how to conduct this test? Simply we have to sterilize your all the equipments which are we are going to use for the test purpose, and in this test we have to take the equal concentration of the your lal reagent, as well as for example 0.1 ml. Suppose you have taken the lal reagent or that enzyme you have taken the 0.1 ml, then 0.1 ml your product also we have to take. So in the one test we have to add the both ingredients, and we have to mix it thoroughly, and we have to keep it for the 1 hour at 37 degrees centigrade. So it is very simple test. Take your reagent and take your test solution, mix it thoroughly and keep it for the 1 hour at 37 degrees centigrade. and after some period just check that test tube for conversion of your liquid into the gel or not. So simply by inverting your test tube at 180 degrees centigrade you can get the results. When you are checking your test tube and you are observing, then you will find that whether that clear liquid is converted into the gel or not. Suppose it is converted into the gel form, means it is become viscous one. Then when you are inverting your test tube, then you will find that it is taking too much time for we can say inverting that liquid also from the your test tube. So if the your liquid is getting converted into the gel, it means in your preparation endotoxins are present. So by this way, we can check the presence of endotoxin. The same test is carried out by the three different way or the three different techniques. So first is the gel clot technique, that is I have already told you. Another test is called as the turbidimetric technique. So here, when we are taking the your endotoxin substance, so when we are mixed it with your solution, that that will cause the turbidity into the test tube also. So this by this way also you can check the presence of the endotoxin, and then by using the chromatogenic technique also. Generally in this chromatogenic techniques, the development of the color will takes place when we are mixing your product with the chromogen complex. The chromogen complex is the synthetic peptides, so it is synthesized by the your we can say artificially we are synthesizing this chromogen complex. So and it is reactive with the, your endotoxin when it is mixed with the, your proper your preparation, and suppose in the your preparation your endotoxins are present, then they will cause the complex with the chromogen and it will change its color. So that is indicate the presence of the endotoxin. Now, in short, we will see the advantage of this LAL test. When we are taking this LAL test for the checking of the endotoxin, so this LAL test is very fast compared to the your rapid test, because it will show within the 60 minutes it will show the results, and it will be the very accurate results. Then it is having the good sensitivity compared to your rabbit test, and there is no we can say pain generated for the rabbits, and we are not using here any kind of animals, so very easily we can check the presence of the endotoxins. Another test is developed instead of this rabbit test, as well as instead of this LAL test, we can have the another kind of test that is called as the monocyte activation test. These monocytes are obtained from the human volunteers blood bank. Generally, from the blood bank, we can collect the blood, and from that we can separate out the monocytes. When we are mixing your monocytes with your sample, and suppose in your sample sample of your product like injection or the solution of your injection, suppose in that endotoxin are present, then they will react with your monocytes and they will show the your results. Generally this monocyte activation test, that is MAT test, is very much we can say active compared to the as well as sensitive and accurate compared to the your other type of test. Now the this was about the test for the your detection of the your product like presence of pyrogen and presence of endotoxin. Now what kind of production facilities are required for the preparation of your parenterals? Generally when we are producing your parenterals, so while mixing and while transferring your preparation from final container to the uh, your actual containers, then we require to maintain the required specific type of conditions. So for that purpose, there are the requirement of specific areas. First area is called as the cleanup area. Second area is called as the preparation area. Next area is called as the aseptic area. Then quarantine area is required, and finishing and packaging areas are required. Near about 5 specific areas are required while production of your parenterals, and these all 5 areas are having this special requirements. Now what is the cleanup area? So this cleanup area, it is not aseptic area. Generally, in this area, we are carrying out the cleaning of your equipments as well as the cleaning of your containers and closures. Generally, generally in this area, we have to maintain the proper cleanliness, as well as there should not be presence of any kind of dust detergent we are using for the cleaning purpose, and it should be maintained very clean one for the production of the your parenterals. So in the cleanup area itself should be maintained properly, and it should be free from the foreign particles as well as the microorganism, and periodically we have to clean up this area. Then preparation area, this preparation area is very much important one. In this area, we are preparing your solution, suspension as well as the emulsion. Simply we are mixing the your products as per your formula. That's why it is called as the preparation area. Generally, this preparation area is required very strict precautions, and we have to maintain the required conditions. Generally, positive pressure we have to maintain inside this area to avoid the entry of bacteria. So the production or the preparation is carried out by in the aseptic conditions. Now, what is mean by the aseptic condition? Aseptic condition means presence of zero bacteria, or there should not be any kind of microbial count as well as the foreign particles should be absent. The parental preparation are filtered filled in this container into the container in this aseptic area, as well as the whatever the peoples are working in this area for the your working of your preparation, so that all the persons should be checked for their health, and they should have the hygienic health, as well as they should be covered with the proper clothings, and there is the limitation of entries of these persons in this area. So if the frequency of entering people is more, then more chances of the inserting of the bacteria is there. So that's why to avoid the bacterial infection, we are maintaining the limited entries of the peoples in this area, as well as we have to maintain the double door lock system as well as air lock system in this room, because once we are opening the door, then outside air may inside your uh, aseptic area, and it may cause the infection of your product, or it may cause the contamination of your product. So to avoid all those things, we have to maintain this aseptic area with the airlock system as well as the double door system. Then whatever the equipments are present inside that aseptic area, like ceiling, then wall and floor, that should be sealed with the paint, and there should not be any place where your dust, fibers and debris can have the place. Generally, uh, in this aseptic area, there should not be any corners, and it should be easy for the cleaning purpose, and it should be easily painted one, so to minimize the your dust and to minimize the debris and foreign particles. And every time we have to go for the sterilization of this aseptic area to avoid the development of the microbes. And whatever the air is coming in this aseptic area, it should be filtered air. Generally we are using the HEPA filters to filter that area, filter the air which is required inside the aseptic area. So whatever the air is coming through this HEPA filter, generally this HEPA filter is having a, you can say, zero point 0.5 micron size. So more than 0.5 micron particles cannot come inside that room. As well as you ultraviolet lamps are also there for the uh, killing of the, or for the sterilization of that aseptic area. So generally ultraviolet lamps are used to sterile that, to stir that aseptic area, or to kill the microbes present inside that aseptic area. So this is the requirement of the aseptic area. It required the, we can say, HEPA filters, UV lamps, and all the rooms, whatever the we are using under the aseptic area, that is ceiling, your walls, as well as floor. It should be already cleaned one. It should be already disinfected one, and it is constructed in such a way that the dust, foreign particles should not have the places. It means there should not be minor cracks in the walls. There should not be corners in that room. So it will be easily cleaned, as well as that room should be well painted one. Okay, and there should require the double door and airlock system. Airlock system means positive pressure should be there inside the room. Positive pressure means the pressure of that aseptic area should be greater than the other rooms or the environmental uh, conditions. It means if the pressure is high in the aseptic room, then the air will be flow from aseptic room to the other rooms or the outside from that aseptic area. Suppose by chance any person have opened the door of that aseptic area room, so during that microbes will not come inside your room because the flow of air from aseptic room will be from aseptic room to the outside. So that's why during the opening of that room microbes cannot enter easily in the aseptic area. So this is the requirement of aseptic room, and in this room we have to carry out the your mixing and preparation of the product. Then quarantine area. What is mean by quarantine area? Nowadays quarantine word is very much famous. Quarantine means the place where we are keeping the your finished product. That is called as the quarantine area, where no one can be disturbed to the your products. So after filling into the final container, we have to seal your container and then we are sterilizing it. So after the sterilization, whatever the product is ready for the distribution purpose, that products are kept into the quarantine area. Generally, prior to the your evaluation we cannot distribute your product into the market. So after the all the steps, we have finished all the steps, that is the your filling we have performed, sealing you have performed, then we have labeled it, then we have to keep it into the quarantine area. Then from that quarantine area we have to take the sum of the your containers which are already filled one. Then we have to go for the evaluation. Then after the evaluation, if the you got the proper results, then only from the quarantine area whatever the product has been stored there, that will be removed from that quarantine area and it will go for the final packaging. So there will be the final packaging will carried out and then it will be distributed into the market for the selling purpose. So this is called as the quarantine area. The next area is called as the finishing and packaging area. After the good results of the, your evaluation test, we can go for the we can say final packaging. So in the final packaging, we have to take the your product from the quarantine area and we have to seal it into the secondary packaging material like cartoons and cupboards are there, and then in that cardboards we have to pack your product and we can send it for the final storage area. From that storage area it will be taken out for the selling purpose into the market. So this is about your process. Then one methodology we are using into the into the parental products, that is called as the lyophilization technique, or it is called as the freeze drying technique. What is in by lyophilization or the freeze drying technique? As we are preparing the your parental products, so many times some parental products or the some drugs are there which are having the sensitivity toward the water. So for that purpose, when we are preparing such kind of products into the solution state, very easily that drug will be attacked by the your presence of the water or the solvent. So it may called as the solulysis. So simply we can say very much we can say so many drugs are there, they are having the sensitivity toward the your final vehicle. So that's why to improve the stability of that product, generally we are keeping them separate from the vehicle, and at the time of administration we are dissolving them into the vehicle and then immediately we are inserting them to the peoples. So such kind of products which are having the we can say uh, moisture sensitivity, or we can say uh, vehicle or the water sensitivity. So such kind of product we are drying in the um, proper way and we are keeping them dry, and at the time of ionization we are preparing the solution of that drug. So in the same way some products are there which are we can say biological products like your plasma or the rbcs are there. So generally such kind of biological products are having the sensitivity towards the presence of moisture. If they are keeping into the higher moisture or we are keeping them into the any kind of suitable water vehicle, then they will get degenerated or there is the problem with their stability. So for that purpose, we are keeping them into the dry state. So how to dry? So we cannot apply the normal drying system for the your we can say biological products. For example, RBCs are there or the plasma is there. So we can't dry them by using your normal technique just by simply providing the heat. So for that purpose, we are using the lyophilization technique. Under the lyophilization techniques, we are generally converting the presence of moisture into the directly the vapor. So that is also called as the freeze drying technique. So in this case, we are converting ice into the directly vapor. So that's why it is called as lyophilization or the freeze drying technique. So under this step technique, we are having the first step that is called as the freezing technique. Then after the freezing step, we are having the second step that is called as the primary drying, then secondary drying. So by using these three steps, we can convert your product into the complete dry state. And during the lyophilization or during the this freeze drying technique, what we are doing, we are removing the completely moisture from your product. Whatever the moisture is present in your product, that is firstly converted into the ice, and then from the ice that is directly converted into the vapor and it is removed. Here what we are doing, we are avoiding the conversion of that ice into the liquid. We are directly converting ice into the vapor, and that vapor we are removing by applying the higher vacuum conditions. So simply we are removing the moisture from their product to make it more stable. So this technique is called as the lyophilization, and lyophilization is used for the most of biological products to make it stable. Most of vaccines are there, most of RBCs, dry plasma is there. So to increase their life, we are applying this lyophilization as well as the freeze drying technique. The advantage of this lyophilization are, this is the very easy process for the especially liquid products, and aseptically we can dry them. Then it increases the stability of your product because we are converting them into the dry powder.